Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate with Barb Schlinker, the owner broker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, most home sellers have a great deal of love for their properties, and sometimes that translates into an unrealistic belief, resulting in mistakes that could cost them thousands of dollars and not sell their home. What are the top 5 seller mistakes that can cause the home not to sell or to sell for far less than expected?
Well, I'd say, and especially right now, Richard, the number one problem that home sellers are experiencing is they are either instructed to or decide on their own to price the home too high. And, who decides on value? So a lot of people think, oh, I went up and I hear it called Zillow or Zillow. And I looked there and they said my house is worth X, which they don't know. They lost $1 billion overpaying for homes, right? Or maybe they get an appraisal. I see this happen a lot where maybe they decide to refinance and pull some cash out of their home or get a home equity line of credit. Those appraisals are pretty inflated. So they're like, well, the appraiser said my house is worth that much. Well, really, did your appraiser make you an offer at that price? Because I doubt it. I doubt they're going to do it. So you can't rely on Zillow. You can't even rely on an appraisal because they're looking backwards at what happened historically and not what's going on in the market right now. And that's the area that I need to focus on is what's going on right now. I'm very focused on the sales that are currently getting contracts and what your current competition looks like, because that's all the buyers care about. What can I get in my price range, right? So it's very difficult to rely on similar sales. And at the end of the day, the buyer decides if they're going to make an offer. And we can help you do that to get the most money. And most people want the most money. I understand that. Most people really love their homes. They want, they're in love with the whole environment, what they've done to it, the improvements that they've made. And, there's different opinions from different buyers on every house. Some people think if it's not updated, it's just fine. It works fine. Why won't they pay top dollar? And it takes me back to looking at what your competition looks like. If you're competing available homes look nicer than your home, the buyers are going to gravitate towards that. So that's why it's really, really important to evaluate what's out there. And that's what we do for home sellers every week. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty and the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And I help hundreds of home sellers every year get top dollar for their homes. We sit down with them, we take a look at the market, we take a look at similar sales like theirs, we take a look at the current competition to help them decide how to get the most money. Pricing too high is not the way to get the most money. So if you are thinking of making a move and you want to know what your home will sell for in this market, how to prepare your home for sale, how much you'll put in your pocket when it sells, give us a call. We do in-home free consultations all the time at 719-301-3900, or you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com. So let's talk about those seller mistakes. The first one is failing to make important improvements. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do a full-on remodel on your house. Some of this stuff is really simple deferred maintenance. Let me give you an example. If you look at how much time a buyer spends looking at a home online, a majority of the time is spent looking at curb appeal. Well, this is a great time of year to focus on curb appeal. Give those bushes a haircut, give the overgrown trees a haircut, freshen up the mulch beds. If you plan to sell in the spring when the yards are dormant, one of the free services that we offer is to take photos, professional photos of your yard as it looks green and nice right now. And that way, when you are ready to go on the market, we've got it in our bank of great photos, and your home will stand out when it goes on the market because they do matter. Some other improvements that are really, really important are just cosmetic stuff in general, which would be things like a broken doorbell makes a bad impression when you're walking up to the front door. paint the front door, make it look fresh and enticing. It's okay to put flowers out there. You know, it's hard to do that in the winter, but in the summertime, even into the fall, it's nice to do that. Make sure that you don't have any strong odors. I tell you, that will turn off buyers quicker than anything else. And the problem is people living inside the home don't notice it the way you might be able to notice it if you go for a walk and come back and open the door and take a deep breath. It might catch you at that point. But if you live with things like pet smells, cooking odors, heavy candles and fragrances, you may not notice it. And you know, buyers have signals. So if the fragrance is bad, like pet smells or cooking odors, that's a turnoff for buyers. If the fragrances are heavy perfumes, like those plug-ins, things like that, that tells the buyer that you're covering up some kind of smell that they have to worry about. So I would be very, very careful with that. The other thing that typically I ask home sellers to do is take a look at your flooring. If there are traffic areas on the flooring, if it looks like the carpet is tired and old, if the vinyl looks ripped and tired, you really want to take care of that. It might cost a few $1,000s, but it is worth the money. And just consider some realistic upgrades. Buyers just love cosmetic upgrades, you know. And just so you know, when we come to take photos, we don't normally take pictures of things like the inside of closets or the inside of garages. So those are good areas to kind of stage some things that you may want to store away. I do say though, for showings, make sure your master closet looks really good. Everything off the floor, put your shoes up high, pack away the clothes that you're not going to wear, repurpose the clothes that you're not going to wear, because that's really important. The size of the closet is a big deal. I remember showing a house one time, and it wasn't a bad size home, but every single closet was completely overstuffed. Like you could just barely open the door, which the buyer was doing, and just like stuff would fall out at you. So what did it tell the buyer in a subtle way is there's not enough storage in this house. Now that wasn't the case, but that was the impression that it made. Number two mistake is waiting to make improvements after it goes on the market. So there are some agents that let the other agents be bad guys, right? And they'll be the ones that say, well, you know, I didn't like the floor plan, or I didn't like this, I didn't like that, right? It's okay to get this done if you need to make later improvements. I had one seller that did it, and it was weird. When they had furniture down, when they lived there, you didn't really notice that the carpet had a lot of wear on the main level. They'd replaced the basement. But after they moved out, you know, that's all you could see were traffic areas on the carpet. And I kept saying, look, the carpet's old. So they came back, they made the improvements, and then boom, it sold for full price right after that. Of course, pricing too high is an issue. You really want to be the best home on the market in the neighborhood in your price range every time. And number four mistake is letting the agent take bad photos. You don't have to use every photo. A lot of people think you have to take all 50 photos and put them online, and I don't believe in that. The whole idea behind marketing is to get the buyers to show up and let them fall in love with the house at that point. But if the photos are not really good, you've got a problem. And you know, another thing, Richard, our local MLS and a lot of them require that if the room is empty and we virtually stage it, we have to put the photo of the empty rooms in the MLS. And that's why I use a secondary MLS that doesn't have those rules. I still go out to where all the buyers are. But at the end of the day, I don't want to telegraph to squatters or gangs that are looking for empty houses that these homes are empty. And there was just a report yesterday on the news about it. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about it, but tell us and the listeners as well, Barb.
Yeah, these gangs are going up on Zillow and Realtor.com, and they're looking for empty homes in order to break into them and possess them. And once they possess them, it's going to take months to get them out, and you know they're going to trash it. So I don't like highlighting that the home is empty, yet our MLS rules mandate it. So I have to use a secondary MLS to protect the sellers from those things. And it's just amazing to me that they have that stupid rule. And I push back multiple times, but at least they allow me to not put the pictures in there. So I don't even put all the inside pictures. Some of the photos that are a big mistake, like this photo I'm showing right now has a picture of two completely full black trash bags in the closet. I think they were trying to show off that the closet was big, but it really came across as, why are we looking at trash? It doesn't make sense. And then a huge mistake that sellers could make is just to do this on their own, especially in this market. It's a tough market right now. The agents are confused because they changed the commission rules. Homes are sitting on the market for a lot longer. They need somebody to work with them through the process to get it done. And so many surprises could come up. And these mistakes can cost you thousands or cost you to lose your buyer. So I wouldn't do this on your own right now. There might be some people that might be savvy home sellers that could sell it by owner, but I don't think it's a good idea. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, what are some things that sellers can do to make sure they reach their goals? And what about the face-to-face with buyers? Give us some tips on that.
Well, Richard, everybody has different goals and different timelines. So number one, we ask the question, where are they moving? What are their plans? When do they want to move? And we try to time the sale to make all that work together. And if you don't know it, it's a problem. Like I remember last year I had one seller that didn't tell me that they were behind on their payments, they were facing foreclosure, yet they priced their home crazy high. And it wasn't until, they got the notice on the door and the agents are, knocking their door down, trying to, get the business taken away from me, actually, that I learned about it. And I'm like, oh, wait, hold on. We have to make a move and make sure we are meeting your goals, because in this case, you need to avoid foreclosure. It's not just about getting any money out of the house. And, as far as what you should say to buyers, it's okay to talk about things that you put into the house, some improvements, how systems work. The one thing that agents fear is that you're going to share with them your motivation. Well, I already bought another house. They're going to immediately think, oh my God, they're worried, so we could probably lowball and this buyer's going to take it. So just don't communicate too much with them, but it's okay to share with them some not obvious improvements. I got a new roof, I got a new water heater. I love my neighbors, it's close to schools. I love living here. You could, like I had one that was configured to have laundry on the main level or in the basement. That kind of stuff for a ranch is important. So if you are having to be face to face with a buyer, just be really careful about motivation and your sharing your motivation of why you're selling. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900. We will do a free in-home consultation, give you tips on what to do to get your house ready for sale. We're going to show up with a fistful of cash offers on your home, and then show you exactly how much you're going to put in your pocket in all those scenarios. So call us 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. When we come back, we're going to be talking about how to avoid paying capital gains taxes when you're selling your home. You want to know that.